Hello and welcome to Dee Dee Blooms. This video is mostly going to be an update on all of my Paphiopedilum orchids. I have one that's in bloom that you'll see pretty much in the middle of the view here. I moved it to my main TV room so I can enjoy the bloom for as long as possible. And there's a couple other blooms around it. So let's just go through the blooms and then we'll talk more about my Paphiopedilum collection and how it's doing, because it's been a number of months since I've provided any update. So I'm gonna start with a beautiful Phalaenopsis orchid that is reblooming for me for the third time. This is my first Phalaenopsis of the season to open its buds. It started its flower spike quite a long time ago. It was the earliest one. And I just love this one. It's a no ID. And it is a reliable, easy grower, reliable, easy bloomer. And it starts off when the buds first open with this yellowish tinge in the background. I think you can see it with this one. See kind of that yellowish tinge. As the blooms start to fade, they turn more off-white, kind of. This still has the yellowish twinge to it, although it might be the yellow background that's also enhancing it, but I just absolutely love this one. I wish I had an ID on it. If anyone knows which one this is, let me know. But I wanted it front and center, just like my Paphiopedilum here. And then one of my Tolumnias is blooming for a second time. I have a separate bloom video on this one, I think maybe 4 or 5 months ago. This is the Gyrock Firm Mocha Dot. And it's been growing for me for almost a couple years. Not almost a couple years, I've had it at least a couple years. And so this is the second bloom spike, or second time it has bloomed for me. And it's just gorgeous. So I've got 2 rows of beautiful blooms. Try to turn this around here. Going on some jewel orchids that are also in the background here that I'm not doing so well with. But I'm basically in the area where I have all the rest of my Tolumnias growing under bright Barina lights. None of them have rebloomed for me. They're all just growing, but I'm hoping this year I might get some more blooms. I've got some more of my bulbophyllums here. I've got the Cattleya walkeriana that I featured in a couple videos now, and I'll be doing an update on that. The new growth is still coming along. I don't see any signs that it's gonna abort, but I've gotten this far before and then those growths just kind of gave up on me, but still hopeful. So I'll post an update maybe in another month or so. But back to Paphiopedilums, the one I have here that has this beautiful, beautiful bloom. I just love this one. This is one of the very first Paphiopedilums that I got in my collection almost 3 years ago. This would be April of 2021. And I got it from Sunset Valley Orchids. And it's the Paphiopedilum Mastercianum SVO crossed with Paphiopedilum Macabre Mother Mary. And it was a smaller plant in a little like 3.5 inch pot when I got it. And I've featured, I think, 2 bloom videos on this one on my channel. If you look on my channel, I try to separate everything into playlists. So if you want to see my videos on Paphiopedilums, you should be able to find the Paphiopedilum playlist. If you want to see things about my Phalaenopsis, you should be able to go to the playlist and Phalaenopsis and Oncidiums and Cymbidiums, etc. playlists for the different varieties. So this one is a beautiful mottled leaf Paphiopedilum, and this is the newest growth. And the last time this bloomed was Christmas 2022. So it started its flower spike, I think, in October and grew it all the way through Christmas. So I think my video on the bloom before is from like January 2023. So it's pretty much right on schedule with this new fan and the blooming. But the most exciting thing with this one is it is starting to be a sequential bloomer. Do you see that right there? Another bud. And I am just flabbergasted. I had no idea that this could potentially be a sequential bloomer. So this one, it stays in bloom a really long time. The flower lasts like several months. So I can only imagine, like, if this one starts blooming, I'm going to assume this one's going to continue to develop as this one starts to decline. So this is probably going to be in bloom for me for 6 months at least. So it's going to be fun to watch how this one goes. But very nice. I've had it in April. It'll be 3 years, and I'm just so happy with it. And it's grown a new fan for me every year. The older fan is starting to get absorbed. I'm sure sometime soon I'll see a new fan coming up from here. Keep an eye out for it. But very, very nice. A very, very wonderful cross the masters see on them. So hopefully I'm doing justice showing you the spots and the stripes and the coloring. Just beautiful. So now I'm gonna pause this and we'll hop on over to the rest of my Paphiopedilums. So here I am in my north growing room, and the majority of my Paphiopedilums, I have them centered around here. I have a few others smattered around in this growing area of my north window. But we'll focus on right here for now. And one exciting news is several weeks ago I went to the San Diego Orchid Society show and sale at Balboa Park down in San Diego, and I found this cute little young Paphiopedilum. And if you look it up, you'll see that it's got a beautiful flower. This is from a Paph paradise, and buying this plant benefited the Orchid Society, and of course they the proceeds from those sales go to orchid research, saving orchids in the wild, orchid preservation in the wild. So I'm always happy to buy at the show sale, knowing that it's going to a good cause, because we love our orchids and we don't want to lose them out in the wild. So this is Barbigerum variety, Sullivangi, I think it's 2 eyes on the end. Sorry, that's a little rubbed off. When you look up Barbigerum on the internet, it brings up the option to look at the variety that's spelled there. And so it's just one fan. But the thing that drew me to it, which I don't feel I have a lot of, is this is the, the solid strap leaf type green leaved Paphiopedilum. But look at that beautiful coloring at the base of it. So I have another one, really large one, which I also got with the Macabre Mother Mary I just showed you that's in bloom. I bought this one at the same time. I still haven't even repotted it. Let's see, where's my tag? It gets taped to the side. But this one, let me zoom in, it doesn't have that beautiful marking at the base. So what caught my eye again was, oh, it's a green leaf, but the beautiful markings are at the base of it. And I just love that. I just find that so pretty. It was just $15. So this big one, which is maturing 3 growths for me. It has bloomed for me a couple times. There should be bloom videos in my playlist again, under my Paphiopedilum playlist. So it's maturing this growth, this one, and this one over the past 1.5 years at least. And so I want it, it's pretty happy. It's been happy for a long time. So I'm not going to repot it until I see some more progress on the growths. And this is the Paph She's Pride crossed with Paph Joanna Burkhardt from Sunset Valley Orchids. This kind of gives a representation how big the green-leafed ones can actually get compared to a lot of the smaller mottled leaf ones. So back to the grouping of Paphiopedilums I have back here. This is one that I've also had for close to 3 years. It has never rebloomed for me. I have several, actually I have 4 what are miniature Paphiopedilums that I also bought at the same time as this giant one and the one I just showed you that's in bloom. And it's this one, this one, this one, and this one. And I really had problems with this one, and this one. I almost lost them. And so for the last almost 2 years, I have been nursing them back to health, and I have some beautiful new fans. And yeah, it's for a moment there I really thought Paphiopedilums were not going to be for me, or especially these miniature ones. But I think what happened is I was watering them too close. I had some rot issues in one of the fans for this one. So I wasn't watering too much. Let me correct that. I think I was watering too close to the edges of Paphiopedilum, of the fans. So when I water now, I try to always just water on the edge and try not to let water come up close to the fans. If it does, I'm dabbing it with a napkin as soon as possible. And then I almost lost this one to rot, but it's been growing this new fan. This one totally disconnected. It was this tiniest little fan, and now it actually grew some roots down in there, or I don't know how many roots. I don't know if it's plural, if it's just one root, but it's in there now. I had used this post to hold it in place, and I just crossed my fingers, and it's in there now. I mean, if I pull hard enough, it'll pull out, but it's almost like its own separate plant now. But it had, from the rot, it had disconnected from the main plant. And I was like, well, I'm gonna give it a shot, give it a chance. And sure enough, it's growing a whole new leaf. So there must be at least one root down in that pot. And again, I work really hard to either just bottom water or just do little trickles of water, not letting it go up against the plant, the fans. So the ones here, and again, I did a Paphiopedilum care collab video showing my whole collection. So some of these names, if you watch that video, are going to be familiar. So this is my Ho Chi Minh crossed with Delinati. And this one had a bloom for me when I bought it, and the bloom was fading. And I hope someday that I'll actually get a new bloom. This one back here that's coming back to life is a Leucochilium. Leucochilium, I'm gonna guess, crossed with Thyanum. And this is where my memory's gonna go. You'll have to check out my Paphiopedilum videos, because when I did the care collab, I looked up all the old flowers. One of these miniature ones was not in bloom, and the other two did bloom for me. But right now I don't remember who was in bloom and who wasn't. This one is a Paphiopedilum crossed with Thyanum. And then we've got another Anivium crossed with Thyanum. So 3 of them have Thyanum in it. Not sure if I'm pronouncing any of that stuff right, but that's my best attempt. So I've been really excited about these guys, working hard for me, growing new leaves. I'm really, really hopeful over the next year I might get a bloom or two. And again, they stay smaller, so you know, the spike doesn't get too high up. The flowers, they're good size. I mean, they dwarf the leaves of the plant. It's kind of funny. So hopefully in the future. Another one I have been struggling with is I believe it was a division. I bought this one from an Etsy vendor maybe 2 years ago now, a little over 2 years. And this is a Maculi curtisii maudii crossed with maudii Napa Valley. And I only have one fan. The 2 fans I've grown, well, the fan that came with it when I bought it, it had a fan that was being absorbed, and then one green fan, kind of like this. So it wasn't that strong of a plant when I received it. So, and the fan that I was growing like this matured and it actually bloomed for me. So there's a bloom video if you want to go check it out. Beautiful green and white. And so this brown area here is that fan that bloomed for me. And so then it started this new growth. And now for some reason I'm getting a brown leaf here. I mean, I'm glad it's not one of these, but I'm a little concerned. I don't have another fan, so if this is starting to just, I don't know, not do well. So I'm keeping a close eye on it. I mean, the leaves are firm, they're beautiful, mottled. One of my favorite colorings with that lime green in the background and then the dark olive, compared to, you know, you have the miniature with the beautiful little mottled leaves, but it's just not as dazzling, I would say. This one back here is also one of my favorites for its leaves, one of the miniatures with many, many, many fans. I'm hoping it's gonna bloom for me this spring into summer. But it also has beautiful markings on the back. So that's one of the things I really like about Paphiopedilums is the variety of designs. So you really can find a whole bunch that I think you'll grow to love and enjoy the colorations of. Here's my newest, no, not my newest, my second newest. I showed you my newest that I just got a few weeks ago right here. This is my second newest I got at Sunset Valley Orchid's December open house. And this has been in spike since I bought it. It's grown a little taller, but not by much. So I don't know if that's gonna abort, but it's a Paphiopedilum fanaticum. And that is Micranthum album crossed with Melipoense album. And it's got the Forest Surprise and Darth Vader. Pretty fun names. And of course I fell in love with the design of the leaves. I don't have one that looks like this, the darkness. And I'm really hoping this spike might actually turn into a bloom. And we'll see. It's been growing. I mean, like I said, I bought it, and I want to say this spike was maybe half the size. So in the 2.5 months I've had it, it's very slowly maturing. Here is my Henryanum cross. I've had this one, I want to say a good 1.5 years and 8 months. I got this from Sunset Valley Orchids. And there's a bloom video on this one. And it is maturing multiple fans for me. It had 2 flowers for me before. You can see the 2 spikes that are cut off. And so I expect, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3 fans trying to mature on that one. So that'll be nice if I get 3 flowers in the next bloom cycle. My tiniest little baby here is my Pinocchio, which is Glaucophyllum crossed with Primulinum. And little by little, it's growing. I do a form of a self-watering with this one. I keep it a little drier in winter, so I'm due to fill up that reservoir just a little bit. And so this is gonna take some time to grow and bloom for me, but it's been fun. I felt like I was gonna almost lose it. I think I've had it a little over a year now, but since I put it in the self-watering setup, it's been doing great. And you'll see some more that I'll show you that are in self-watering. I only put my Paphiopedilums in self-watering if I'm not able to keep up with their watering needs, or if I am watering at my best of ability and they still flop over, or what I call lose turgidity. I talked a lot about that in my Care Collab video. So, and all of them that I've put into self-watering have been doing great. So you'll see them all coming up soon. This is my Paphiopedilum colosa. I also got from Sunset Valley Orchids. And this one I got, I think it was about a year and 4 months ago. Trying to remember. I think it was at a summer open house. Not this last summer, but the summer before. So I think summer 2022. And I just love the look of the leaves, some more lime green, a little less of the olive spots. Another one from Sunset Valley Orchids. This is from Christmas 2021. Is a Paph venustum crossed with another Paph venustum hybrid, and it's maturing this fan for me very, very slowly. It was in bud when I bought it, and it bloomed for me within 6 months of having it into 2022, and it's not bloomed for me since. But I just love the venustum. I've got a baby venustum I'll show you next. But I love the coloring of the mottled leaves. And then this one has that coloring up on the fan. Kind of like the one I just got. The last one I have down in this grouping is my bulldog variety. One I've had for almost 3 years. I got this from Cal Pacific Orchids, which is a local orchid nursery near the I-5 down here in San Diego, Southern California. It's a yellow leopard jungle jewel crossed with Hagrid's mark super wide petal. And this one has been slowly recuperating in a self-watering setup. I'm glad I redid it. The main mother growths have all died. It was in bloom when I bought it 3 years ago. It has never rebloomed for me. It put out these 2 fans. The mother fan was in here and it's absorbed it, so I cut it all away during repotting, and this fan has not been doing the greatest. I'm not sure what's going on. This one seems the most promising, but I've heard the bulldog varieties can be a bit of a challenge, so I don't know if I'm going to be successful with this one or not, but I'm not going to give up. It's definitely done a lot better in self-watering though. And since it's winter time, I don't keep the reservoirs totally full. I just keep them just a little full. In summertime, I will keep them totally full at all times. So there's that. I want to show you the baby venustum, which I'm going to come up to the shelf here, and it's growing behind one of my paths there. And this is just a straight venustum seedling, and look at those beautiful leaves. It reminds me of like a snake skin look to it. And I'm thinking I'm gonna repot this soon in self-watering. I don't know if you can see the wrinkling of like this leaf. I try to make sure I water this one once a week. It's in a small little pot with a little bit of moss, and I don't think that's enough. So it's the original potting mix I have from the vendor when I bought it a little, I'm going to say 1.5 years ago, 1 year and 8 months. So it's been growing little by little, but summer's coming and my concern is I'm not going to keep up. So I just bought some more self-watering pots, and so this one I'm going to try to get in there. Like the other Venistum crossed I showed you, this one also has beautiful coloring just on the fan, the base of the fan and the bottom of the leaves. I just love it. And I have lots and lots of spikes and buds developing. This is my Tetraspis cerulea, my Phalaenopsis Bear King is working on his bud there. I've got another spike for a lot of my Polychilus are really starting to take off, but also my standard phals, I have lots and lots of spikes in this grow area too. So I'll just give you, there's a spike, nice spike growing up there, another spike. I've got spikes way in the back growing towards the window, developing buds. Another Polychilus type there, back in there, and new little spike. I think this one has a, is this one a spike? Nope. One of these has a spike. I'm trying to remember. Oh well, not that one. I must be thinking this one's trying to mature some buds too. Lots and lots going on here. So back to the Paphs. This is one I have in self-watering. And this is my Stony Eye cross. So Tessa crossed with Red Pouch. I got this from Sunset Valley Orchids about 1.5 years, 1 year and 8 months ago. And this is one I had turgidity, a lot of turgidity problems with until I got it into self-watering. And it's just been doing so well. I'm so happy with this one. It's finished maturing this leaf and this leaf for me. It's putting out a new leaf. So steady moisture for this one is a must in my environment. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good sized one. Look at how strappy the leaves are. And if you look up the flowers, what the Stony Eye can look like, oh, I'm so excited. It's gonna be a beauty. I'm gonna swing over here where I have a Fairyonum hybrid. 1 second, I'll grab the tag. This one I also showed in my Care Collab video. I put it into self-watering because it kept flopping over. The leaves would not stay upright. And this is a Fairyonum crossed with a Maudii, Las Osas. This is bloomed before. You can see the flower spike right down in there. And so it's been working on maturing this fan. I had a horrible accident happen where a piece of wood that was propping up something fell down from one of the upper shelves here in the front grow room, and it mechanically damaged some of my leaves on this plant, but thankfully not the newest fan. So here's one of the older leaves from the previous fan got damaged. I was so upset, but it survived and it's growing really, really nice. One of my favorites with the coloring again, that bright lime green, and then you've got the olive backgrounds. Here's some more Paphiopedilum spike here. Got one right here, little teeny tiny spike. These are my Christmas orchids. If you watched that video, they're pretty much all done blooming. I got a few more blooms here. I moved them to the north window. I had them on my kitchen countertop. Found these in a Trader Joe's grocery store. These beautiful mottled leafed varieties. And so I will be repotting these 3 within the next week or so. Here's another flower spike. Lots of spikes going on. So then we just have, I think, a couple more to go here for the Paphiopedilums. So here is one that I've had at least 2.5 years. Paph Fumi's Delight. It's micranthum crossed with armeniacum. And I've struggled with this one. I thought I was going to lose it a number of times, but it kept coming back. And this is one that also has beautiful coloring on the base of the fan. It's a mottled leaf variety. So a lot of the mottled leaf varieties have that beautiful coloring on the fan. And I just want to point out again, that brand new one is the green leaf variety that has that coloring on the fan. And that's what struck my eye on that one. Otherwise, I feel I'm pretty complete with my Paphiopedilum collection. I don't really have a need to get any more, but you never know. You never know, something else might catch my eye. So this one I've had for quite a long time, and it's just been maturing this fan. It lost the previous 2 fans, absorbed the other ones. Well, actually this is a remnant of a past fan. It's never bloomed for me, and it's supposed to be really pretty, a pretty pink pouchy looking flower. The next one right here, the neighbor of that one, is a very wild looking strappy leafed one, and I can feel the reservoir is empty, so I'm due for watering. This is my, sorry, I gotta set it back down. Come on. This is my, oh, my Spicerianum crossed with itself, or sibling. So this one, oh my goodness, I had so many problems with the leaves, just totally doing the flop like this one is right here. I know once I get some water into the reservoir, it's gonna perk right back up. This has some speckling color at the base, but it's the green variety, very strappy, kind of wild growing. It's growing all these different fans. I felt like I was losing it, and then I got it into this self-watering setup, and it has been doing amazing. Look at all these new leaves starting up. I really expect a good show with this one. If I can get it to bloom, I think it'll have multiple flowers from those multiple fan growths. So again, I'm gonna get some water in this reservoir when I'm done making this video, and I know it's gonna perk right back up. And last but not least is this one, this beauty, and it's working on 3 different growths. I've had this one close to 2 years as well. I got this from Ecuagenera, and it survived a long shipment all the way from Ecuador. And this is my, oh, let's see, Paph Larry Sexton. So I cannot wait. This one says Nat's Orchids. Wait. I did get it from Nat's Orchids. I apologize. I did not get this from Ecuagenera. So this is from Nat's Orchids. Which one am I thinking that was from Ecuagenera? You know, that might have been the Spicerianum. No. I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't get a Paphiopedilum from Ecuagenera, so scratch that. Bad memory. So this one, growing up on that upper shelf with some other. So this one, yeah, it has 3 fans. The older fan that it came with, it absorbed, and so now I'm just hoping any time I might see a flower spike, if not multiple flower spikes. It's a mottled leaf variety. It's a bit muted of a mottled leaf, but I still think it's beautiful, and it's a bigger one compared to a lot of my miniature smaller ones. So it's a good sized mottled leaf variety. That's as much as my hand can hold it. It's got some good heft to it. Well, the pot adds to that. But yeah, so there's my update. I'm sorry for how long everything was. If you stuck it out, thanks so much, and give me a thumbs up if you like the collection updates and want me to provide these updates periodically. Thumbs ups, tell me that, or comments. If you have any questions for me, please just let me know. In my Care Collab video last year, I think it was, I talked a lot about my care, and nothing really has changed on that. So if you're curious about watering and all that kind of stuff, fertilizing, go ahead and check out that other video. I go into it more in depth. But so there's an update. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.